This is Mike Madden, and you're watching Hashtag Truth with Scott Larson.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hashtag Truth. Tonight, I have the one, the only, the owner of Pro Wrestling Union, Mr. Cole McAbee. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing excellent, Scott. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great this evening, man. Tell us a little bit about Pro Wrestling Union, buddy.
All right. Well, Pro Wrestling Union is a promotion that I'm just getting started up, and we're going to have our first event on October the 5th. It's going to be in Batesburg, Leesville, which is in Lexington County, so mid-state in South Carolina. We got a really stacked card. We got guys like Randy Wayne, Brady Pierce. They're going to be the main event. We got some other guys like Patrick Scott, Josh Powers, Big Country, several other guys that are on the card, and I'm really excited for this particular show. It's also going to be special recognition to the Lexington County's Department of Emergency Services. So we're going to do a special recognition for them during the show. And anybody that's visited the Pro Wrestling Union page on Facebook has probably seen some pictures of people that work for emergency dispatches taking pictures with the Pro Wrestling Union Championship belt, which a champion will be determined later. But it's been getting a lot of positive feedback just in the area. So I'm really excited about it.
Nice. A lot of people saying hello right away. Alex, how you doing, brother?
How you doing, Alex?
Peaches, how you doing? Joshua, how you doing? Everybody chiming in to say hello. Man,
apparently nobody's got anything better to do on a Sunday night than to listen to me, I guess.
Hey, or me for that matter. But anyway, so you are a wrestler now, but you told me earlier that eventually you're going to get into just running the promotion, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct. Hold on. What's going on here?
You went sideways on me.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I don't know what happened to your video, though.
Okay, hold on
Never
one second.
That happened where somebody turned sideways on me.
I don't know.
No problem, man. Take your time. You're good. You're good. There we go.
See, I'm not as big of an idiot as I think I am sometimes. So, there we go.
No, you're good, man. But you are still wrestling, correct?
Yes, actually, it's actually what it was. I actually got into this business back in 2003. I started off as a manager and kind of eventually morphed my way into as a wrestler. And I had retired, but I kind of got goaded back into it sometime last year and started getting back into a ring, working out a little bit, trying to knock 6 years worth of ring rust off, which is tasking. And so I got my license here for the state of South Carolina, and I started doing some shows. In fact, last night I was over in Classic Pro Wrestling. I wrestled a individual named Chad Colt, who's a big, solid, strong dude. Chokeslam me almost through the ring, but
don't you hate when that happens?
Right now. You know what? I think, in all honesty, that's probably the first time that I've ever been in the wrestling ring and ever got chokeslammed by anybody. So
that'll knock the ring rust right off, won't it?
And everything else.
So I heard a few words in there that got me kind of curious. You said I got coaxed back into the ring. There's a story there. How did you get coaxed back into the ring?
Well, at first it just kind of started off with me just kind of working out and stuff like that because my legit job, I work for 911, and sometimes it's a stressful job and stuff like that.
No doubt.
So, I was looking for an outlet. I was looking for an outlet, and I knew that just working out in the ring was always something that I enjoyed doing. So I was actually getting the opportunity to go over to the ring over in Chester, South Carolina for Action Packed Wrestling. And I'll go ahead and throw this in there. If you hear me say the initials APW, I'm talking about what everybody refers to as APW Chester or Action Packed Wrestling. So
there you go.
So William Roberts, who's the promoter and owner of APW, he was nice enough to allow me to go in the ring and work out with one of the guys that was learning the ropes. So I'd get in there, knock the ring rust off, and eventually some other individuals that I knew that would come up there and work out with us. One of them is a now retired Carson Queen, if you've ever met him or at least seen him at a show or two.
I might have.
But he was always... Yeah, so he was always talking to me. He was like, "Hey, brother, you need to get back in this thing," and all this other stuff. And a few other people got in my ear, and I said, "You know what? I'm doing pretty well. For a guy that hadn't been doing this for 6 years. If I
but it's good to know that
you've
got the talent and everybody saw you before and missed you, man. It's got to feel good."
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to call it talent.
Come on, man.
I think everybody was like looking at it, was like, yeah, I want to get in the ring with that guy and just beat the crap out of him a little bit.
It had to be better than that, man. Come on, you weren't just a one-man punching bag, were you?
Well, I mean, I can take a punch, but I can give one back too. So that's the thing.
There you go.
They like punching on me. They never liked it when I punch back because they start complaining. You can ask Big Country about that. He'll tell you one time he turned me around. We were in APW over in Chester, and he turned me around and I gave him a forearm shot, and he was like thinking that he was like, did I offend you in some way? Or
so you literally gave him the business.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's giving me a few good shots too, and so
yeah,
hey,
well,
that's part of the game.
If Big Country really hits you, you know you've been hit. I guarantee it. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
Let's get to a few of these comments real quick. Alex says, "Good man. Send some info about the show. I'll try my best to come." As a matter of fact, with saying that, I'm pretty sure you have a poster out for the show, correct?
Yes, I do. On my own personal page, I've been posting stuff. Plus, I have 2 separate pages. One is my own wrestling page, which it is what it is, and I'll occasionally throw some stuff on there about Pro Wrestling Union. But I do have a Pro Wrestling Union page that is on Facebook. Very easy to find, just Pro Wrestling Union. You should find it. So I've got a poster up and everything like that. And I've been actually throwing out some of the signed matches so far. I think so far I've thrown out 4 of them. Or no, 3. It could be 4. I have to double check my notes.
In the time you said that, I've already went to the page and liked it. That's how easy it was to find it.
Sweet.
So there you go. That's how easy it is. Look, just put Pro Wrestling Union up in the search bar, hit the little scope, and it goes right to the page, man. So good deal.
Awesome.
Let's see. Joshua, we love #Truth. You're right. We have nothing else to do than watch our favorite. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the fans being here. James Sawyer said he just got as ugly as the last time I saw him. Uh-oh. I hope he's talking to you.
I don't know. It could be either one of us. I don't claim to be any beauty by no means, but I'll remember that, James. I'll remember that.
The last time I saw the Legends, I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember which Legend it was, but his little niece was sitting next to me, and it was the funniest thing ever because he would come out of the locker room and walk around out amongst the fans for a few minutes before the show, and she was looking over going, "That's my grandpa. That's my grandpa. He's the best wrestler in the world. That's my grandpa." And I was like, cool. That's pretty cool. But then when the Legends went to the ring to wrestle, she had a poster and was rooting for the other team. I just thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, oh my gosh, That's great. You don't say nothing bad about her grandpa, but she's gonna root for the other team. Joshua said, Cole, what did you like about being a manager, and who are some of the wrestlers you managed? Now, I didn't know you were a manager.
Yep.
Okay.
Did some managing stuff like that when I first got into it, and it was actually accidental. Just try to make a long story short. My older brother used to wrestle in Western North Carolina. He was originally trained by Buddy Landell.
Okay.
And then Scotty Black and a few other guys took him under the wing and started wrestling shows up there. Well, occasionally I would go up there to watch him wrestle. And one of the shows, there was this one guy they always had that always wanted to get on the microphone and like to talk a lot of smack. Well, you know,
I know a lot of wrestlers that are like that.
He picked the wrong audience member because he didn't realize that I was quicker at wit than he was. So he started stammering on the microphone in front of an audience of like 40 to 50 people.
Oh, it's always great when you make a wrestler go,
Yeah, so it doesn't happen very often because I'm not the greatest at coming back at people because I'm always like, oh yeah, well, you suck. And that's the best I can do. But that tells you how good that guy was. But so the guy that was running the show, he approached me and he asked me these questions like whether I was a worker or not. And of course I didn't know anything about the business, so I didn't know what he was talking about. So he found out.
What? You want me to sweep your floors? What are you talking about, man?
Oh, I had no clue. He was using words that I was like, just over my head. Like, you know, he would say, "Hey man, are you a worker?" And I'm like, "Well, I've got a job." You know, I mean, I didn't understand. I didn't understand the lingo, the talk, or anything like that.
Right.
But eventually, they found out that my brother was Cyrus. That was his name over there in North Carolina. So they had me be his manager, and they said, "Well, do you have a suit?" It's like, "Yeah, I've got a suit." They were like, "Do you have like some cool looking sunglasses?" Like, "Yeah, I got some cool looking sunglasses." They're like, "What's your name, kid?" And I go, "My name's Cole McAbee." They said, "Horrible name. Change that name."
Horrible name. Wow. That's that. It was probably going really good until then, right?
Yeah. So I had this little Hollywood agent sort of character where like I would be like on my cell phone and I'm like calling like some agents in Hollywood talking about like, oh yeah, well if you want to see this guy show up on your shows, it's gonna be like $1,000 or something like that. And you know, and the audience member were just like, who the hell is this prick? You know.
I'm gonna have to get you for my manager. I'm just kidding,
but
that sounds awesome. That I would have loved to have been there for that first conversation, a fly on the wall, or however you say it, to hear, you know, because I was like you back when I first got into this. I mean, I was a fan. I loved wrestling. I knew, you know, about it. But like you said, the lingo is totally different. And when I first started and they, you know, people were giving me words like rib and all this other stuff, I'm like, what? You know, I'm going to, oh yeah, if that guy does that, I'm going to give him a receipt. What? A receipt? Why would you give him a receipt? And, you know, I'm thinking a little piece of paper with numbers on it. And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? And of course I had to be explained all this stuff. And of course now I'm a total mark, and you know, there's very rarely does a word get past me, but there are still times where an old timer or something will talk about old time wrestling, you know, way back, you know, when they barely had a wrestling ring, and they'll say a word and I'll have no clue what they're talking about, you know. So I've been there many times. It's not a good feeling.
Yep. So I had to learn very quickly, but some of the guys that I managed, besides like my brother, Derek Flair, or he's known as Derek Vanderford now, but he used to do the Ric Flair gimmick. But if you honestly looked at him with the blonde hair and he had like the robe and everything like that, you could see him. It was like, yeah, he was definitely discount Ric Flair, but you know. There
are many imitators out there right now today, but there'll never be another Ric Flair, man.
No. But at least he could honestly say that he at least had actually had conversations with the Ric Flair. So there was that. A few other guys they just kind of randomly threw me with, like some of the other heel guys, just so that way they've got somebody that'll be there to kind of do like the cheap heat stuff whenever the referee's distracted or whatnot. So
Did you ever get stuck
So, yeah,
and I say stuck loosely? Did you ever get stuck with a wrestler who had no mic skills at all, and that was the reason why you were there? Hey, Cole, come here. This guy can't talk on the mic. We need you to lead him out to the ring and do the talking for him. Does that ever happen?
no, I wouldn't say necessarily on the manager side. Maybe a little bit more toward the wrestling side, but we'll get to that later. But no, when I was there, like when I was like with my brother was like, "Don't say anything. Don't say anything." The first person that actually wanted me to speak for them or to talk and to interact with them to that level was Derek Vanderford as Derek Flair. So like he immediately was like, "All right, so we're gonna go out there and we're gonna cut this promo." He's like, "You're gonna introduce me, man. Just get them riled up, and then I'll take it on home." And I'm like, "You want me to speak?" Because that was like first.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. I need a table, a piece of paper, and about an hour. I'm just kidding.
No, in fact, in all honesty, I probably went out there and I just completely ripped off Rick Rude.
Oh man, I would have loved to have seen that. You got that on video? Because I would have loved to have seen that.
I'm sure it's somewhere. I'm sure it's somewhere in my like at my parents' house somewhere. We always try to videotape like the shows and everything like that. But yeah, I went out there, this like skinny looking kid with a suit, glasses, and I'm in front of this crowd in North Carolina that was mostly surrounded by drunken Western Carolina University students. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, what I like to have right now is for all of you ugly, fat, no good, out of shape North Carolina scumbags, and they're like,
excuse me?
You're gonna kill him.
Oh wow, that would have been worth the price of admission right there.
And then I hand the microphone over, and sure enough, Derek gets on there and he starts cutting his promo. That's very Flair-esque, and they're booing the crap out of him. And then we go to the back, get ready for the match that we're gonna go out there and do. And we did our thing, and there was like a few people that were in the crowd, like they were already part of the business, but they were just catching the show. And they went to the back and they sat me down, they critiqued me, and and that's one of the other things is that when somebody critiques you and stuff like that, a lot of people were like thinking, what's going to happen? How is he going to take it? But I just sat there and I listened to him, and I was like, I'll take that into consideration, work on what you say I need to work on, so that way I can do better the next time. So
you got one up right there on a lot of wrestlers today, man. I'm just going to be honest. There's a lot of wrestlers out there, and I've been told story after story after story of some people that won't come on here and talk, and tell me those stories on camera. But off camera, I've heard, yeah, I sat down with this kid and I explained to him, what he was doing, what I thought he could, polish up on and do this and do that. And he looked at me and said, "Oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. This is a new day and age of wrestling, and I am the man." And he told me that kid was out of wrestling like 2 months later.
No. That has never been me during the entire time that I've ever been part of this business. In fact, I'm actually more harsh on myself than anybody's ever been harsh on me. And I've had some really harsh people come down on me. One of the guys that I've known for years, a guy named Thomas Simpson, he was with the Hardy Boys and everything like that, helped them get started Omega, which was like the big indie promotion of the day. In fact, I'm wearing the Omega shirt.
I see that.
Yeah, so, and he's one that is brutally honest, and if he didn't like something, he doesn't do it in a polite way. He's like, "Well, I think you could have done this better." He flat out tell you it sucked, it was horrible, and all this other stuff.
The thing about people who are like that, and I know a few, I could actually name names, but I'm not going to, who are brutally honest. I call it brutally honest, and that's what they are. Yeah. And Oh, shoot, I'm going to name a name. David Cody is one of them in the business. If David comes up to you, he will brutally, honestly tell you what he thinks, and he's been in the business long enough to have the right to come up and tell you what he brutally, honestly thinks. And 99.9% of the time, he's correct. So, those are the guys that if you listen to them and you do polish up what they tell you to do, or you do listen to them and try to do what they tell you to do, you're going to get somewhere in this business eventually. But if you blow them off,
And I agree with that.
It's at your peril.
But I will say there are certain people that you may need to avoid, and I won't name any names or anything like that.
Right.
But because hey, there are people that have they have their best interest for you, but then there's other ones that they'll just try to lead you down some path just because they're either going to mess with you or they really don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Main thing is though is like you just take whatever they say. It's whatever advice that you can get. The only thing I can tell, it's like not too long ago you had that guy, the Vegas kid, the one that everybody was ripping into a lot.
Jamie Knight. Yeah, the one that threw his wife under the bus, and that's the only thing I remember about the whole conversation was he threw his wife under the bus. Man, I was like, "What?" No, but he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He really is.
Because I didn't want to just like flat out call him Twinkle Toes. I know that's like the other nickname everybody has for him. I don't know.
That was his name when he was wrestling at APW. We're not talking about Chester APW this time. And he was basically he was out there to lose for 2 straight years. I mean, he was basically everybody's punching bag, and nobody really trained him how to wrestle. And the kid really loves the business. The kid really wants to get into business. He really wants to get trained, but it's like it's already been 11 years. So I wish him the best. I really do. I hope he does train well. I hope he finds that trainer he's looking for and gets back in the ring. But I just couldn't. That whole video, that whole conversation, everybody being on here. Let me tell you, it was one that I will never forget on #Truth. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I mean, I just went on there and I just told him, I was like, just listening to your story and everything like that. I just said, I mean, look, if you're really wanting training, I mean, there's like several places you can go.
Right.
There's high spots.
Right.
I don't know how far off he lives, or anything like that. But like over here near where I live, Ethan Case, he has a wrestling school, Palmetto Wrestling Academy. And I can actually speak from experience that I've actually have gone up there a few times, and I like what Ethan Case does with the guys and the girls that go up there and work out and train and everything like that. And I mean,
if you travel for wrestling, I mean, right there in North Carolina, both of the Rock and Roll Express have schools right there in North Carolina.
Exactly. So, I think I remember somebody saying that they would provide training for him for free, and it was like, okay, well, I mean,
Bo Jackson, and he's still doing it. He's still helping them. He's still helping them today.
Yeah, so it's like, give it a shot. I mean, somebody's going to offer you some free training, which doesn't really happen, but if somebody's going to take the time and try to teach you something, I mean, take the opportunity to learn it. I mean, you got nothing to lose at that point, so.
No doubt. I'm going to catch up on some of these so we don't fall too far behind.
Sure.
Ernest said, glad to see you back. Always had fun working with you in Union.
I love Dirty. Dirty, how you doing, sir?
Would you rather take a chop or a back bump?
Now, if this was me about 10 years ago, I would have told you like a back bump all day long. Today, it's neither.
Today, it's take it easy, man.
Yeah.
Commissioner Boyette, hello, Cole McAbee. Hope you would give my Federation Power Pack Wrestling a chance, and hope you would not hold APW Bowling Springs against me, bro. Commissioner Tony Boyette, after my little rant, I'm just going to put it the way I feel. Did the right thing and got the hell out of Dodge. And that's all I'm going to say about
Tony.
That. Yes. Tony is a really good guy.
The few times that I was over there at APW, like when I first got back into it this year, I was going up there. And Tony was one of the first people that I just knew automatically. I was like, I really like this guy. So, and I understand that a lot of things, he has no control over. I mean, it's not his promotion, so he has no
Right.
say over what goes on.
Right.
But
we know who the real culprit is, but he'll remain nameless.
yeah, we won't go there.
No. Trust me, if we go there, the next 45 minutes of this interview will be me ranting. So we're not going there.
And that's not me. That's not me saying anything negative about anybody. That's just, it's just,
It is what it is, right?
We'll move on.
Robert, Big Country said that Big Country guy is horrible.
That Big Country guy, I love that Big Country. I love the Big Country.
No doubt.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie. I tell this story all the time. The first time I went to EWF, I'm not going to lie to anybody because I'm a big guy. I'm 400 plus. And I saw him start to come up to the ring, and I was like, oh, man, this is going to be horrible. And then he did a super kick. Then he choked the dude with his foot all the way up to his neck. And then he did his finishing move, and I was in love ever since, man. I mean, every time that man comes to the ring now, he does something that just totally amazes me.
I will tell you this about Big Country. The first time that he was getting into the wrestling business, I'm like legitimately getting in, he came to Action Pack Wrestling. This was back when Doug Hawkins was still the promoter before William Roberts took over everything, because Doug was transitioning out of the business. Big Country and this other guy whose name was also Robert came up there, and they were wanting to get in the ring. Well, I was always there early because I like getting into the ring and working out and all that other stuff. So I got in the ring with Big Country. And my first interaction with him, I just looked at him, and at the time, I was like their cruiserweight champion or something like that. I weighed like 180 pounds, and there's Big Country, who was massive. I mean, more massive than what he is now.
Right.
And I looked at him, and the first thing I said, that's like, buddy, I don't think there's anybody that's going to bump you, so I'm just going to show you how to do a couple of moves real quick. And I put my trust into him as to not to try to kill me, but show him how to throw a proper clothesline and all this other stuff. But he was adamant about, well, I'm going to bump. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it all the way.
There's nothing that I haven't seen Big Country do that a man half his size couldn't do. And I'm just being honest.
And this is not me saying that I trained Big Country. That's not the case. But the first time he ever got in the wrestling ring, I was in there with him, and I showed him a little bit, and I asked him afterwards, it's like, well, how do you feel? And he admitted, he was like, oh yeah, this sucks. I'm sore. But he said he was ready. He was ready for more, and he got committed. He started coming up there a lot, and then he started getting in the ring with like other guys that had a lot more knowledge and everything like that. And he's come such a long way.
Oh man!
And you're right. The fact that somebody his size can move as quick as he does, can do the super kicks and stuff like that. He's pound for pound, I would say, the best super heavyweight in the Southeast, if not in the United States.
And he's also another guy that, truth be known, you get to know him, he's honest to a fault, man. He'll tell you straight up if he likes something, if he don't. And I love that about him, man. He'll come up to you if he sees you, going down the path with somebody in the business that is there's stories about or whatever. He'll walk up to you, hey, bro, do you know this guy? Let me tell you a little bit, and not to be mean or anything, but he's looking out for you. He's looking out. He likes looking out for everybody that's around him, and he's a really great guy, man. Really, really great all-around guy.
I love him.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I always have. As a matter of fact, I've made this known many times. He was the first T-shirt I ever bought. Of the 22 T-shirts I have now, he was the first T-shirt that I bought. Was Big Country.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he was also the first wrestler that I met when I started doing this way back, 2 years. Yeah. I say way back, but 2.5 years ago when I met the people at EWF. He was actually the first person I met. He was passing out flyers for one of the shows that at EWF that day, and he sat down and I showed him my little YouTube video that I had when I was doing another type show, and right away he was like, "Oh, dude, I'll follow you," and he subscribed to me, and we started talking, and it went on from there. And man, I love the guy, love him.
Yeah.
What's going on, Jersey Red? I love the picture you got right there. I love Little City, awesome. Gosh, can't wait till that dude gets a belt, man.
That's Big Country's tag team partner over there in EWF.
Yes, sir. And I just think that's totally awesome, man. Big Country, Little City. The names just fit. And, you know, you got the big man doing moves. You got the little man doing moves. They did a move at the last EWF show where Little City got up on his shoulders and flipped off of his shoulders and did a move. It was, wow. I mean, I was commentating, recording, you know, the match and commentating, and I lost my voice during his match and the main event. It was just awesome. I love them two together as a tag team.
That's awesome.
Commissioner Boyette said thanks to both of us when we were talking about him. You guys are being way too generous. We just love you, Big Country. That's all there is to it, man. Will you be making an appearance anywhere in the upstate South Carolina in the near future?
Okay. Well, this past weekend, like I said, I was over at Classic Pro Wrestling. They had their show at the First Church of the Nazarene. Over the summer months, they normally do their show at this fire station that's right there in Spartanburg. But the inside of the building gets really hot, and there is a puppet in the background. What in the hell is that?
That's Fozzie Bear. He shows up and says hi every once in a while.
Hey, Fozzie Bear.
Go ahead.
I was just making sure. I was just making sure that like, anything that I may have done in my college days isn't coming back and haunting me now.
No. You're perfectly sober. Everything's good. He pops in every once in a while just to say hi.
Okay, just making sure. But yeah, Classic Pro Wrestling was this past Saturday and everything like that. I know they've got another show that's coming up in September. So I might be back there. Don't know yet. No one's confirmed with me on anything just yet. But they also know that I'm got my hands full with Pro Wrestling Union at this time, and there's a possibility.
Knock on wood. There you
go. That we might be doing something next month over in my hometown of Union, South Carolina. I can't go into full details just because.
Well, let me put you at ease. When you find out the full details, let us know, and I would love to help promote that show, bro. I would love to help promote that show.
Absolutely, but it'll be a lot sooner than you think. I promise you that.
Okay. My wife's telling me there's a storm coming.
Wrap it up.
No, she's not. She's trying to tell me to wrap it up. She's saying there's storms coming. So if we accidentally get cut off, if we end up going off the air, you know the exact reason why. I didn't shut you down or anything. Our internet went out because of the storm. So just letting everybody know ahead of time. It hasn't happened yet. We've been through a few storms. You know how South Carolina is. Why up, guys? Bam. Come on, man. We use English in this part of the country. I don't know where you're from, but we use English in this part of the country. What's going on, Bam? There you go. Now that's what I'm talking about.
So that's what you meant.
What's up?
What's up, you guys? I'm saying, what's up, you guys?
Right. I'll tell you guys, they are a great tag team. Yes, he's talking about Big Country and Little City. Yes, they are a great tag team. Robert Big Country Ordway, one of the best dudes in wrestling. Philip Queen, I totally agree. I don't think anybody on this podcast or watching right now would disagree with you.
Nope.
Much respect to you, Cole, from CPW. There you go, Buck Carter himself.
Thank you very much, Buck. I appreciate that. I like Buck a lot. He's I got brought into CPW for a tag tournament. They were going to be crowning their tag team champions, and I had to actually wrestle Buck and his tag team partner, James, and they got the best of us. And I was like, well, I guess that was it. But next thing you know, they were like, hey, man, we want you to come back. And I was like, you serious?
The legends.
So I love working
the
with them. They're great
legends
guys.
are like
I
the
do.
unbookables when it comes to me, man. I can't say a nice thing about them. It's just the way I am, man. The unbookables and the legends are right there with them, right there. They win any
like
way
them,
necessary, and sometimes it's just too much. You know what I'm saying?
No, see that? No. See, that was the thing, though. The legends were the good guys.
Uh-oh.
I was
I
the
missed
heel.
something in
Yeah.
CPW. Then if the legends are the good guys.
I and my tag team partner Dean Richards, we were the Hills, and we were beating the total crap out of them. And then next thing you know, I was standing there. I was about to give Buck Carter a lariat because I like to knock people's heads off every now and then. The next thing you know, I woke up and I was in the back, and I was like, "Did we win?" And somebody said, "Nah, you got hit with a stunner." And I was like, "A stunner?" You know?
Wow.
And he's like, "Yeah, he got you with a stunner." And I'm like, "When did that happen?" He said, "Right after you threw that lariat and missed." I was like, "I missed?"
That must have been a pretty good stunner if you don't remember anything.
Yeah. So it looked. I had several people that told me that it was a really good tag team match, so I was very appreciative about that.
I haven't been
So,
to CPW in probably 2 or 3 shows. I frequent when they first started. I went to some of the CPW shows. I haven't been there since they moved. I'd love to get over to Boiling Springs and watch one of their shows, though. I would love to get over there. I mean, they're right in my backyard, so real easy to get over there. So
I think they're going to be back at the Unifier department for their next show, which is going to be their anniversary show.
That's still not far because that's where we're used to going to see them. Yeah. So that'll be awesome. Yeah. I like the Unifier department. I like their setup there. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so wow, man, you have a lot of hats that you wear. You were a manager, a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
You own your own wrestling company now, and man, I mean, you're a family man, wife, kids. I mean, do you have time for anything outside of the things I just mentioned? I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot on your plate, man.
Yeah, I mean, I try to make time for certain things, because I mean, of course, when it comes to anything else, my wife and my kids, they come first. My wife, who is not a wrestling fan, and she makes no bones about it, but she has been patient enough and nice enough that, like, when I told her, I was like, well, I think I'm gonna get back in it for a little while, and she kind of gave me that death stare, that little.
I know that look very well. Like, hey, dear, so, I'm going to 7 nights a week.
So, but no, for what I've been able to do, she's been really cool, really patient about it. But we got a 2-year-old boy. His name's Cage, and
nice.
Well, apparently he's been telling on me because when mom's in the house, wrestling's not on, but occasionally mommy leaves the house. And then next thing you know, I think they were visiting her parents, and he had like one of these stuffed toys, and he pinned it, and he goes, 1, 2, 3, ding, 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 and I get a phone call. And I'm like, I didn't teach him that.
Right?
NXT may have taught him that, but I didn't. So.
I love that. No, my wife's very supportive of me and my show here. She, it's because I spend a lot of time asking wrestlers to come on, talking to wrestlers. I have people helping me get wrestlers for the show. It takes up a lot of time. It's not just, me calling you up and saying, hey, Cole, you want to be on the show? And then the job stops there. I have to literally, look you up, find out some things about you, and this thing has boomed. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. It's just the truth. This thing boomed from what I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be able to scale it down to 2 nights a week. I was doing 7 nights a week, and now I'm back up to 4 nights a week. It's just It's crazy, but I love doing this, and this is she realizes because I don't work anymore. I'm disabled. So this is
Yeah.
my enjoyment now. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking to you guys. I enjoy listening to the stories and what you guys bring to indie pro wrestling. And she's very supportive of it. When you have family that is very supportive of you, she loves wrestling. She likes watching WWE. We'll sit down and watch the pay-per-views and all that.
Yeah.
She's loyal to a fault, so she's totally EWF. So the only time she'll go to an indie show is EWF because we have all our friends are there. And so, if I go anywhere outside of EWF, I'm going by myself. And then,
Yeah.
she gives me the look. You want to go where? Like you're talking about. But it's all good, man. It's all good. You got to have a supportive family when you're a wrestler or any part of this business, man. I'm finding that out the hard way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But no, I mean, like I said, she's been really cool. She's been really gracious with me getting back into it. But she is looking forward to the day where I say, "All right, no more in ring stuff," you know, because she's
Uh,
because it's not that I don't think that she hates it. I think she's just concerned that I'll end up hurting myself more than I've already have. You know, which you got to respect that in a woman, especially one that you're going to spend
right.
the rest of your life with. So
Right. No,
so
no, I get
so
it. I totally get it because
unlike
that.
me, I'm not throwing a woman under a bus. Okay.
No, no,
So
please don't. Don't put me through shock again. But
no.
that's one thing that us fans don't realize, especially the fly by night fans of wrestling, is that if you guys don't do your job, and that's all wrestlers who get in the ring against each other, don't do your job right, there are consequences. There are
Oh yeah.
broken necks, broken bones, surgeries that have to happen because you fall wrong, take a bump wrong, or in some guys' cases they just don't know when to stop and they do something stupid like jump off a balcony through a table,
Yeah.
but for the most part you're putting your lives at risk and you're putting your lives in another man or woman's hands depending on who you're wrestling and who you are. But and a lot of
Yeah.
people don't understand that. They just see two people in there and they think it's like a UFC fight. You're out of there. No, it ain't. It's nothing like that. Wrestling is totally different.
Oh yeah, it very much is. But I mean, the best thing we could do is we try to take care of ourselves and everything like that. No, I know my limitations on things, so I mean, I'm one of those people. If somebody works me, I let them know immediately. If there's something that I cannot do, I let them know. I'm like, hey, I can't do that.
Let's stay away from this one. You might not want to take an ambulance ride. Let's stay away from this
Yep.
one. Let's
Yep.
get to some of these. Let's get to some of these. Brandon Blood said he's doing the job I did years ago, and I know that he's going to do it well. When his time is extremely spread out. Good for you, Cole. Talking about owning your company. Awesome.
Thanks a lot, Brandon. I appreciate that.
Buck, Scott doesn't like us. What did we do to him? It's not what you did. Apparently, you guys have changed your ways, and I didn't know that. But the old legends were cocky and thought they, were the best things in the world. And that sounds just like the boys over here at EWF, the Unbookables, and I just can't get behind that. I just can't.
Hey, hold on, Scott, hold on. They're still
Uh-oh.
cocky. It's just they're just more likable. That's all.
He said it. I didn't. I'm just kidding. No, I'm definitely going to get over to CPW again, especially now that they're right in my backyard. They weren't that far when they were in Spartanburg, but it was just now that they're over here in Boiling Springs, right on Asheville Highway or right near Asheville Highway, I it's an easy hop, skip, and a jump from my house. So I'm definitely going to go check out a show, no doubt. And I might even root for the Legends. How's that, guys? My daughter's in there yelling boo. Thank you, Scott, for doing it 100% in, man. Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate that. I'm doing this. My big saying is, you wrestlers and everybody, and you guys know my little shtick. Give us something to, give us something to go watch. Give us something to invest in, and that's what. If you do that, we'll come and we'll have our money out ready to pay. I mean, that's and I can't say it any simpler than that. Big Mama, how are you doing? Scott, you need to have Judas on here so we can get to know him. I would love to have Mike Judas on here, but Mike Judas is a very busy wrestler. It's hard to find a kink in his schedule. Trust me, I am trying. I am trying. They laughed at it. Buck thought it was awesome. So there you go. But yeah, man. Yeah, wrestling is a funny business. The more I talk to people, the more I get to know. Because I don't want to be that reporter or journalist, if you want to call me that, or whatever, that like WWE, who gets right in the locker room and lets all the secrets go, breaks down the fourth wall. I really don't want to be that kind of guy. I still want to be a fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And that's what started this whole. That's why I named my show #Truth. I don't want to be a wrestler. I don't want to be a manager. I want to go and be entertained by a bunch of guys who are having fun themselves. And, I would love to come see you wrestle, man. I really would.
Well, I mean, if you get the opportunity to, I mean, do so. I mean, I know that I will be wrestling on October the 5th at my own show, not main event. I promise. We just haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do yet, but I will say that I do keep getting some text messages from Big Country, and he keeps telling me to talk to Dion Johnson, so I don't know what that's about yet.
Now, there's a guy, I had him on my show back before before my show looked good like this. I had it when I was doing the cell phone thing. And, man, I've watched him many times at EWF. I've seen him at CPW. That man is a character and a half. If you have never seen Black Cat Johnson in a match, I mean, he goes by a lot of different names, but, I like to call him Black Cat. He is one entertaining guy, man, without a doubt. And when he was doing his bit with his tag team partner, my wife always got embarrassed when he came out and did his little shimmy and his dance and stuff. So we hooked her up last year on her birthday. EWF hooked her up, and Black Cat gave her a lap dance right before we went into the ring. I thought it was awesome. She's gonna kill me for this one, but I just thought it was the greatest thing in the world.
Oh God, I could see Dion doing that for real. And I've known Dion since I first got into the business. Because Dion and we are both from the same hometown. He lived in a little area of Union County, the little area called Chambertown, and
Okay.
I was over in the Monarch area. But in fact, one of the first people that I got to wrestle as soon as I made that transition was Dion, and me and him have actually had a few matches over the course of time, and they've always been a great experience. But I do remember one. We did one show. It was over in Lawrence, and no joke, only 3 wrestlers showed up. It was me, Dion Johnson, and one other guy. So their brilliant idea was like, okay, well, we're going to make Dion work twice. He's going to wrestle the other guy, and then he's going to wrestle me. And Dion looks at me and he goes, McBee, because that's my nickname for him. Right. He goes, McBee, I don't feel like going out there and doing it. He's like, we just gonna brawl all over. And sure enough. And this was like an outdoor show, and it was like right outside of a fire department too, which was really funny because there's like a fire truck right there, and next thing you know, I like got Dion outside of the ring, and I'm going towards that fire truck, and he's got that look in his eye like, oh no, he's not.
he is a character, man. He is totally. Buck and James can verify what I'm saying. The last time I went, this will tell you the last time I went to a CPW show when he was wrestling as one half of the Soul Patrol. They were wrestling Doggone it. I'm trying to think of the name of the tag team. They do the Waffle House gimmick.
High profile.
High profile. They were wrestling high profile, and Dion, they are great, by the way. The name just slipped my mind. They were wrestling high profile, and Dion comes out with his robe like he always does. He comes out and he's dancing and doing his thing, and he goes all the way up into the ring. And when he opens up his thing, he's wearing strawberry tights. Tights with, and everybody got it. I started laughing. My wife's like, "What is wrong with you? Why are you laughing?" To the point where I was crying. She's like, "I'm like, dear, strawberries always go well with waffles." And she's like, "You guys are an idiot." But it was great, man. I mean, who thinks of stuff like that?
I have actually seen that photo because that was not too terribly long ago. But
no,
I remember seeing that photo. Dion is naturally one of the most entertaining guys in the business. He's and the other thing is that he's got this charisma and this energy about him, and he doesn't even have to do that much. But like when he's there, you feel the presence and everything like that, and I love that about Dion. So
he pulls the audience in there with him to have fun. I mean, it was awesome. Yeah. Every time I've seen him, he always. I mean, you have to watch him. I don't want to say he's a one-man comedy act because it's not all about comedy, but he's a funny guy. I mean, he is really funny.
No, it's not about comedy because I've actually sat there and I've actually done some promo work with him and everything years ago when we were all part of Trans-South Wrestling.
Okay.
The first year of Trans-South Wrestling, the very first show that we did over in Union, South Carolina, they had somebody else using their promoter's license to do the show, but apparently some things happened to where certain people could not get their licenses. I don't know all the details, but the second show was in jeopardy. So I stepped in, got a promoter's license. So that was my first time as getting the experience as a promoter. And plus there was like everybody that was there, like Derek Vanderford, Dion, the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, Thomas Simpson, several people that I learned little bits and stuff from.
Right.
So we made it through that. We got to make it through that first year, and then the next year I was just wrestling for them. And at one point they had me turning heel from a babyface in my own hometown. And the surefire way that they knew that I could become a heel was to do something to screw Dion Johnson over. So you got to see the mean side of Dion Johnson. Yeah. So I Dion was feuding with Ernest Robinson, aka Dirty,
right,
for the Trans-South Championship. And I mean, they had like this good feud. I mean, like it wasn't like your wrestling matches. I mean, this was like these guys brawling all over the place. I think Dion even posted a picture where Dirty took a glass ketchup bottle and broke it over Dion's head during the show. I mean, like they went all out.
Wow. So in other words, it looked like they truly hated each other.
Oh God, yeah. They brawled. It was the closest thing to street fighting without going into like people having to be carried out in ambulances. But
wow.
But during one of the matches, I came out there and I threw the title belt into Dirty, and I told him to hit Dion with it, and sure enough, he did, and that cemented my heel run. And
all eyes from Dion Johnson on you, right?
Yep, and Dion gets into the ring, like empty arena and everything like that, and he's cutting this promo, and it's very Dusty Rhodes-esque, like hard times and stuff like that. And he's like talking about Dirty, and he's talking about this, and he goes off and he's like, I don't care if you bring Cole McAbee, I don't care, you can bring an army, whatever, I'm gonna go medieval on your ass. And I mean, there was nothing funny about it.
You do a good impression, by the way.
I tried, but it was but it was pure passion. It was pure energy and everything like that. And he was into it. I mean, like his eyes were about to come out of his eye sockets. It was great. So,
Wow.
so yeah, Dion's good for funny, but he's also good for getting that passion and pulling you in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
making you
Like I said,
believe.
when he's in the ring, man, it's all eyes on Dion. Buck says, I'm Kyle Pins. We're neighbors, Scott. You got to love the legends. And yeah, Soul Patrol is awesome entertainers. Yes, they are. The whole thing. Yes. Martha says, just saw Dion this past Friday at Pro Wrestling Turbo in Greenville. He was awesome. They put on a great show and saw him helping take down the ring after. Much respect for that man. Now, look at there. There's a man that's been in the business for years, and he's still paying his dues and still learning every day. I love to hear that. Martha, thank you for saying that. Thank you for telling us that, because that just makes me respect him even more. No doubt about it.
In fact, yesterday when I was over there at CPW, I had gotten there after they had gotten the ring up, but they had like some brand new turnbuckle pads they were wanting to put on the ring, and I told them, I was like, I'll put them on. I don't care.
There you go.
So,
That's it.
But
man, if I have to as a fan,
I'd
I'd love to get there and help, man. I'm serious. That's how passionate I am about the sport, man. I just love it. Anything to help these guys get in there and entertain us, man. That just you don't know how giddy I get when I think about, people who do it the right way. They get in there, they entertain, they always work on their craft. They're always trying to better themselves, get a gimmick, get something, like I said, get something that we can invest in. And there are a lot of wrestlers out there who are trying, and there's some that just like to go in there and be cookie cutter. And those are the ones that I like, talking badly about. But, I just love somebody to have a gimmick, and you can see that they're working hard to entertain. That's what I want, It's not hard. It's really not that hard.
Yeah.
Buck Gardner said, I remember that. I think he was talking about when I was talking about the strawberry tights. Jim wants to know, is Dirty still in MMA?
I think he still does participate in MMA. I know that he's been transitioning, coming back into wrestling lately. But I know that he was doing really well as far as going into mixed martial arts competitions and stuff like that. So, I mean,
now that's got to be a huge change from doing it the way you do it as a wrestler, from going into MMA. I mean, that's got to be a hard transition. I can't see that being easy at all. But Carter said Cole McAbee helped set up as well, and thank you.
Proof. See, look at that. I'm not one.
It's always good when you have somebody back you up, right?
Yeah, I've been doing this for 17 years. I ain't got to do jack crap. Actually heard somebody say that before, and I looked at them and I was like, God, I hope I were that guy and just teeter the crap out of him. But
don't say how you feel, man.
No. I'm just being serious. Now, anybody that's ever met me, like in the back and everything like that, hopefully most people would say that I'm probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and everything like that. I try my hardest, and I try not to speak negative about anybody. But if you ever ruffle me the wrong way and it gets to the point, then yeah, I will say something. But I don't try to do anything out in the open. I try to take care of things like just between me and that person, because over the last couple of years, one thing that was really getting on my nerves is how open people would be about stuff that they would just put on social media about something so incidental, but they would throw stuff on there, and I'm like, don't do that.
Oh man, that happens every day on social media. You'll be surprised how many wrestlers. Well, you won't be, but because you're in the business, but a lot of fly-by-night, fans would be shocked at how many people get on, and I'm going to say it the way I feel, how many wrestlers get on and whine about this, that, and the other. I mean, just the most minute little thing, and they'll throw it up on social media, and and off it goes, because you always got the people who, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, and you always got the people who want to bring it down. So it's
Yep.
it's going to be a never-ending thing as long as there's wrestling, there's and social media. That's always going to happen, and I've learned to ignore a lot of it now. I didn't before. I used to jump right in there. Man, come on, what are you doing? Why are you? They'll figure it out.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's people that I know that are in the wrestling business and everything like that I've gotten to know over the course of time, and we've got respect and everything like that. I don't have anything negative to say about them, but there might be somebody else that I know. They may not have the same opinion as I do, and and I just treat it as that. Well, that's just their opinion, but
right.
But there's nothing that you can really do about changing somebody's opinion. That's something that comes along.
So speaking of opinions, let me ask you a question, man, because I'm pretty sure you keep up with the upper echelon of our great wrestling, WWE, AEW, things like that. Pretty sure you've read an article or two or saw a video or two, right?
Yeah, I know a few words. Some of them trick me a little bit, but
So what do you think about AEW coming on the scene like WCW did 20 years ago? Do you think there's going to actually be another war for the top, or do you think that AEW is basically going to ride the coattails of WWE? I always love getting the answers from the wrestlers themselves.
Well, first off, the one thing that I thought was really interesting is when the whole idea of All Elite Wrestling coming along, one of the first things that I saw was like people talking about like, there's going to be like an actual alternative to WWE, and it's like automatically I was kind of like, TNA was an alternative, Ring of Honor was an alternative. And then and with the way independent wrestling is now, especially with like streaming services and all this other stuff, a lot of people also just kind of, it almost seems like they write like all these little promotions and stuff off automatically. For example, now even though it was on the WWE network, Evolve has been doing like the online pay-per-views and stuff like that for a couple of years and whatnot, and I mean that's an alternative to WWE, and they've put on great shows. And
I'm finding out by doing this show that there are a ton of shows that's doing that. There's a show in Las Vegas that runs on TV there. My old stomping grounds down in Alabama. I used to watch Continental Championship Wrestling. They're still running on TV down there. I mean, it's amazing that, like you said, and I totally agree, that people are overlooking the indies wrestling in all this. I'm glad to see that what AEW did. I am glad about this is they went and got a lot of indies wrestlers and brought them up instead of going and stealing like WCW did. That's one thing I'll give them. And I'm not gonna. I'm gonna hold my total, thought of AEW. I like that they're doing what they're doing, but I'm gonna hold my total thought on how good they're gonna be until they've been on TV for 6 months. After 6 months, you should be able to tell as a wrestling fan or whatever what's gonna happen. If they pull in the numbers, hey, it'll be good for wrestling because you got you got another place to go. You got another place to shoot for if you're an indie star. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that I do like.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, like, what I've been able to see of AEW so far has been now a lot of it I have really enjoyed, and there's only been like a few things that I haven't really gotten into. And it seems to be kind of universal if you kind of look around to where people are saying like, well, hey, this is good, this is bad, or whatever. But simple fact that they're taking this opportunity, you have to think professional wrestling hasn't been on TNT's network for the longest time, and then all of a sudden you're putting in this wrestling product, and what they've been able to do so far, as far as like the shows that they've been able to put on, overall have been really good shows. So it's going to be hopefully different than what WWE's doing. I know that match between Cody and Dustin Rhodes was
That was an instant classic, brother. That was an, I thought it
that was
was.
a that was a beautiful match. I mean, I
Yes.
actually sat there, and after I watched it, I took a little bit of a break. I took like a few days where I didn't watch anything else, and then I went back and I rewatched the match again just to analyze and stuff like that. And it was just from start to finish, it was beautiful. It told a really good story. Everything about it was top notch. I really enjoyed
Right.
it. So
Right.
as long as they're able to continue to do things like that and incorporate some other things, that'll keep all your other types of wrestling fans interested, because that's the one thing about wrestling fans that I've learned over time is that what works for a certain area of fans may not work for another one. For example, you can get some top indie talent. I mean, like good young guys that can do all these amazing moves. They do these things that, I mean, it just blows your mind. And you can put them on a show and draw nothing. However, at that same wrestling promotion, you could take somebody like Ricky Morton, who, despite his age, he's still getting in that ring. He's still doing everything he can to put on a great wrestling match. And then next thing you know, that show might draw, like 100 people or 200 people or 300 people or whatever have you. It just depends on what your wrestling base fan is, what they're looking for.
I've noticed one thing that is always been honest and true about professional wrestling is you've got the people who enjoy the old school and you have people that enjoy the new school, and there are some fans that love a little bit of both. Like you said, there's it has to do with your preference. Which do you like? Do you like, the old school style? Do you like the new school style? Do you want a mix of it? And if, no promotion's going to be perfect. There's not a promotion. Even WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, no promotion is going to be perfect in making everybody happy. But
No.
but the promotions that are trying to do that are the promotions that are going to keep upscaling.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion.
Oh yeah. But you were also kind of mentioning like some of the things that might turn on and off the fans and stuff like that. And some people don't even realize certain things that people think it might turn them off, but it actually turns them on more. And I'll give you a good example of that. Recently you had the Money in the Bank pay-per-view that WWE did. And they threw the ultimate swerve at the very, very end where Brock Lesnar comes out of nowhere and gets the Money in the Bank's
he
suitcase.
wasn't even in the match, and he came out and won it.
And the internet blew up, and I know Facebook blew up like, WWE, you suck. Oh my God, we're going to have to do a Brock Lesnar again. Guess what? More people started viewing in because of that. You may not like it, but it keeps you intrigued. Because you want to see what happens.
I talk badly about Vince McMahon all the time. I'm not going to lie. There's his storylines and things like that are just getting it. To me, it's just regurgitated stuff all the time. But there's one thing you can, like you just said, there's one thing that you can always bank on. People are going to watch his product.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, you could have and take this for as you like, but 20 wrestlers can come out during Raw, crap in the ring, and leave and not even touch each other. And I guarantee you the next week you'll have the same amount of people watching Raw.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the way it is. People want to see how good or how bad it's going to be.
Yeah. But I mean, you got like the same people, like the ones that are like sitting there and they're supporting like AEW, which is great. They need support. Every wrestling promotion needs support.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't have a promotion.
Right.
But like the same people that'll probably sit there and crap on it or whatever like that, I guarantee you they'll watch it too, because then they'll turn around and continue crapping on it
But wasn't that what made? Isn't that what made the Monday Night Wars awesome? I can remember during the Monday Night Wars, plain as day, having that remote in my hand because WCW started an hour earlier, and you'd start watching WCW, and when that 8:00 hour hit, you were switching back and forth. During commercial, you'd switch over to see what they were doing, switch back over, and one was being taped, the other one was live, and the live one was giving away what was being taped. So if you really like that one night when they claimed that Mankind won the title, that was the stupidest thing they could have ever done because everybody switched over to Raw. It was like, oh my God. And they switched over and watched that match.
Oh yeah.
And I was one of them.
Well, see, and here's the thing that I did when I was a kid. Me and my brother, we so for us, Nitro, it came on at 8:00. Monday Night Raw started at 9:00, and they did the 2-hour show to 11.
Right.
But see, here's the thing: we would watch the 1 hour of Nitro and switch over to Raw, and we would watch all of Raw. The reason for this, because we didn't have like DVR or anything like that, but TNT replayed Nitro at the 11:00 hour.
Right.
So basically, what we would do is that we would set up, rewatch that first hour that we already saw, and then we saw the remaining 2 hours we didn't get to see because we were watching Raw.
Right.
So
that was a good. I guess I was stupid back then. I didn't do it that way, but I did the switching back and forth. To me, that was fun. But
so a lot of the people that were sitting there and like nowadays, and they talk about some of like the big pay-per-views that WWE does, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's a 7-hour-long pay-per-view, or it's like a 5-hour-long pay-per-view."
You were doing it all the way through the Monday Night Wars.
I was doing that already, and I was enjoying it. So
and same thing with the pay-per-views, because there was times when they ran the pay-per-views on the same nights, and you were watching 9 hours of wrestling. So if it's good, if you're giving us stuff to be invested in, and they did back then, trust me, it was. I mean, NWO. I don't think there'll be another thing like NWO to come along for a while. Like every 10 years, they come up with something that is totally different than the norm. And you know, I can't even remember how long ago it was, but NWO was that thing. I'm waiting for that next big thing. I'm hoping the AEW will be that, but you know, it's fun to have competition but the one thing I don't like, and I'm getting back to the indies wrestling part of this, is it's fun to have competition, but not cutthroat. And a lot of indie promotions are like that. If you go wrestle for that company, you're not wrestling for me. If you go wrestle for that guy, you're not wrestling for me. I just put 30 butts in seats. I just, you know, went way above, you know, I'm talking as a wrestler. If I was a wrestler, you know, I just made you, you know, $200 tonight, and you're going to tell me you don't want me back because I go over there and fight on that show? Are you crazy? Okay, fine. You just lost $200. I'll take my $200 that way. I don't get it.
I wonder what it's like to put 30 butts in the seats. I'm lucky to get 2. So.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. I know you did better than that.
and one of them won't admit it. They just go, "I'm just here." So, I'm just here. I just came to see
Who
a
are
show.
you? I'm not that guy's wife right there.
I'm just here.
Or better yet, that's not my son up there. I'm just kidding.
No, if it was probably my mom, she'd probably be like, "Yep, that's my son right there. Yep, yeah. The one that's getting his ass whooped. He better get his ass whooped because he wants to do this." So
it's always great though, right? But yeah, I mean, I could talk all day about you know, indies wrestling and what I think is good, what I think is bad. But the bottom line is, I'm going to go to the shows anyway. It's just like my show here. I've got tons of people telling me, "Scott, why do you have these people on? You should have this, and this." You know why? Because I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I want to bring everybody up together. That's my big thing now. I want to bring everybody up together. I don't care if you've wrestled 2 matches. I don't care if you've wrestled for 10 years. You know, And if you're in WWE, you're probably not going to give me the time of day anyway, but I'm not going to say no to those guys either if they ever want to be on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But the premise of my show is to get people to know who's Cole McAbee. You know, what's Cole McAbee doing to enlighten the wrestling world? And look what you've done. You started off in wrestling. You became a wrestler. You claim you weren't a good one, but I bet you were pretty good. You became a manager. Now you're starting your own promotion. I mean, and you're giving back to the wrestling community, and I think that's awesome. I respect that, and I think that's totally cool, man.
Dr.
And you
Pepper,
like
not a
Dr.
sponsor to the
Pepper,
show.
so that's another thing.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a little bit of caffeine just to kind of keep you going, you know. But no, I mean, like with everything else, you know, just over the course of what I've done, I mean, I would say that I was pretty lucky with a lot of stuff because me getting into this business was just kind of like in a whim anyway, you know. Like I said, like with the whole managing thing, and then I just kind of progressed my way into the working position, which I have to give credit to a lot of people on that one. So like for like me, I don't know if you know who Brody Ray Chase is, but that was like one of the first people to actually show me the ropes as far as like in-ring stuff. And then Derek Vanderford, he had a wrestling ring. Me and him would always work out together, like outside in like cold 30-degree weather, just
Oh,
to
wow.
just to do stuff like that. And then there's like Raging Bull Manny Fernandez, somebody that I got to meet later on, who helped me fine tune some of my stuff,
Right.
which, you know, very appreciative of all the things that I got. And then there's like people that have actually helped me along the way. Like I've mentioned Thomas Simpson before, you know, and, you know, he's helped me out with a lot of stuff. He's been very critical on
Right.
various things that I've done. But overall, you know, I've always appreciated the things that, like as far as the knowledge and everything like that he's been able to give me on that. And, you know, but then there's other people in this business like Doug Hawkins over there at APW in Chester, who allowed me to come there like week after week after week. And then there's like all the various wrestlers that I got to meet and some people that I got to learn a little bit from. Like I got to learn a little bit just speaking with like Ricky Morton on a few occasions. Dr. Tom Pritchard, I got to sit in on one of his seminars.
Dude,
And
that was one of my childhood like heroes, man.
I can tell you,
Dr. Tom.
I didn't participate. I just sat there and I just listened to them teach these guys and the girls and everything that were there wanting to learn. And I mean, like just some of the knowledge that you pick off of that was really excellent. And probably one of my most favorite people that I got to meet was Terry Funk, and he did a seminar.
Oh.
And I got to sit in on that too, and just listening to him was really cool. But what was also great was also getting to spend time with them outside of it.
Right.
Because real funny story, real quick.
Oh, you got all the time in the world, man. I'm enjoying myself.
Oh, this. So we had Terry Funk come in. This was a Trans-South Wrestling show, and he was a special guest. Mm-hmm. And I got to sit there and I got to interview him in the back and everything like that. And I was like, well, Terry, what do you want to say? And he just goes, I'll tell you what, you just lead the way and I'll just follow. And after that, you know, it was just on, you know. So
right.
And after the show was over with, you know, I go up to him. I was like, well, Terry, it was a pleasure to meet you. You have a good night. And he goes, well, you leaving? You know, and I'm like, well, yes, sir. I'm going to go visit some family members. And he's like, well, he cuts me off and he's like, well, all of us are going to go to this Mexican restaurant and we're going to get something to eat and get something to drink. Why don't you come along? And, you know,
can't turn. Did you turn them down?
I'll get there.
Okay.
But I'm trying to be nice, and that's the thing. Terry Funk's one of the nicest people in the world, and everything like that. And he didn't know me for anything, but he was just really that nice of a person. But he comes over there and he's like, "Well, come on, you can come over here. You're not going to make an old man beg, are you?" And
Oh no!
That's when I couldn't say no.
Awesome. Now I do have a question. I mean, you're telling me all these wrestling stories and that, but you're an owner and a promoter now. How many people are coming out of the woodwork to tell you or give you tips or tell you how to run your business? That is something I'd like to hear.
I mean, I've gotten several people that a lot of them that I know, some of them I don't know, that have hit me up, whether it's just to give me advice or basically looking for a booking or something like that, which which I actually need to talk a little bit more about that. But the advice and everything that I've been given, and everything like that, of course, I'm taking all the good bits and everything like that I can get from anybody. So I'm not going to call anybody out by name on that.
Right.
But there was some advice that I just looked at and I was just like,
trust me, I've been there. There's been people that's given me advice about my show here, and I just look at them and go, "You've never watched my show, have you?"
Yeah.
I can tell you have not watched my show because I would not do that in a million years.
Yep. So, but as far as like the booking and everything like that goes, as soon as I was getting everything put together, one of the first people that I had in mind was Randy Wayne, being part of the show. So we automatically got that locked in real quick. But since it was over there in Batesburg, Leesville, we got Brady Pierce that's going to be wrestling Randy Wayne. That's going to be the main event. Brady operates in that area. Plus, he's known for working that area in the Midlands, like in Columbia and stuff like that, and St. Matthews with Midlands Championship Wrestling. He's the current WrestleForce heavyweight champion. So
Nice.
And he's been all over the place. And I mean, if you've never seen him work, shame on you. But also if you just look at a picture of the guy, you put that on a poster, you're like, I want to go see what that guy can do. He looks like $1 million. So we got that worked out. And I got to thank Thomas Simpson for that one. He was my point guy on that one. We got Patrick Scott on the show, and you've seen Patrick Scott before, right?
Oh yeah.
And fantastic. We got him and Josh Powers, who are going to be wrestling.
Josh Powers.
And
he used to tag team with TJ Stark. I don't know if he still does, but them guys were brilliant as a tag team, man.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting, the kind of dynamic that match is going to be. I'm just like really excited to see what they can do, because I know it's because they're very similar in determination, but their styles are slightly modified and different from one another. So the dynamic of it is going to be really good. So I'm excited.
On me for a second there.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about.
I might have lost you. Wait a minute.
No, can you see me?
There, you're back. Okay. Slight hiccup. We're good. Take two.
So, all right. But no, Josh Powers, Patrick Scott, I'm excited for that match. I announced Joey Ford versus Donnie Ray. These two incredible light heavyweights. I've known Joey Ford since he first got started in the business. Donnie Ray, I've got to watch some of his stuff, and I actually got to see him in person wrestling just last night, and just really great talent. So I expect a really good match out of those two. It's going to be awesome. And I need to actually announce a couple of matches that I haven't even announced yet, so it's like an exclusive. So
nice. You heard it first here on #Truth, by the way.
So another match, and I'll put all this stuff on the page later, but
I will definitely put it over on my page too, so I'll be looking for that.
So I've got the future Nathan Cross, who is a bright young talent.
Yes, he is. I've seen him wrestle a few times.
Yep. And he will be in the ring against Mr. Nice Guy, Jamal Hewins.
Hewins, another great
Yes.
wrestler.
Yep. Young guy who's just
and anybody who can pull off smiley faces on his tights.
Oh yeah, both guys are tremendous, so I'm excited for that match. And one more match I'll go ahead and announce. I've got Jake Jacobs. He was actually a last-minute replacement. We had Mason Moore as part of the show, but he was unable to commit. He had some things that came up, so he let me know immediately. So I got that taken care of. I got in Jake Jacobs last moment, and I'm going to have him wrestling somebody that he's very familiar with. He's going to be wrestling the Kodiak.
Don't tell me. Oh,
DJ Ellis.
I have to come to that show now. My daughter loves Jake Jacobs, and when she finds out that them two are wrestling each other, oh, we'll be there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, see?
What?
See?
What?
Here
See,
she
now,
comes.
Now you got to come. Now you got to come.
Jake Jacobs fighting the Kodiak. We're gonna get the information. Oh, my daughter's in heaven now.
So knowing what these two have gone through with each other, automatically the thought process is like, they put on some really good matches. Why not put those two back together again? We'll see which one comes out on top. And
you know they're pretty good. One's the North Georgia champion, and the other one is the Mid-Atlantic champion for EWF. So they've already got belts in other organizations. So and they can't stand each other. They've had a rivalry for better part of a year now. So that's going to be a great match. Of all the wrestlers you said, that got me hyped the most. I've seen them fight each other. They are two that cannot stand each other in the ring. That's going to be a great match.
And I keep getting these messages, and I'm going to have to look into this. Big Country keeps sending me messages whether or not I've talked to Dion Johnson. Now, I've got Dion Johnson and I've got the Soul Patrol. They're booked for the show.
You got me listening. I'm all ears.
But I do have a message from Dion Johnson. I think this is kind of interesting. And like I said, Dion Johnson and we go back a long ways. So basically what the message was, and I think this is what Big Country was alluding to, was because apparently Dion has an idea of a good tag team match.
Uh-oh.
Yep. So are
you going to hit us with it, or are you going to keep us in suspense?
Nah, I think I'll go ahead and announce it.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I'll go ahead and announce it. So Dion has talked to his partner, Sweet Dreams, who Sweet Dreams and Big Country go back a ways. So they're going to be in a tag match that is going to be against Big Country, the Southern Punisher. And the other opponent is going to be me.
Yes. Sweet.
So what this will be, because I don't have beef with Dion Johnson or Sweet Dreams, they don't have beef with me, and they don't have beef with Big Country. This is just going to be a big brother tag team match. You know, it's going to be Soul Patrol, who is one of the best tag teams in the Southeast, hands down.
I won't argue with you.
Big Country, who is one of the best wrestlers in the Southeast, and I'll say he's possibly the best super heavyweight in the Southeast, hands down. And then there's me. So
I knew you was going to do that. I knew it. I was sitting here saying in my head, he's going to get to himself and he's going to down himself.
But that's the thing, though. You know, when I'm here, I'm a very, very humble individual. But see, there's a difference between. I'll go ahead and let you know there is a difference between me, who is the person behind the scenes, the person that you speak with. I will shake your hand. I will be nice to you. I'll smile to you, ask you how your day is. But the moment I get through those ropes, I just assume to just take that arm and break it off from your body and beat you to death with it. So
I like that about you. That is something I could get invested in. I have to cover this real quick because Brandon caught something that I didn't want people to catch, but he did.
Okay.
I got so excited to have you on the show tonight that I didn't put interview with Cole McAbee at the top like I normally does. If you are looking up, you see test. You caught me. Test is what I put on this program when I go in and I upload stuff.
You're gonna
I
be
forgot
freaking.
to put interview with. I just put the test was still there. I just clicked into it and went right into the show. So Brandon, good catch. I owe you something, brother.
Hold on, you're going to be freaking some people out because they're going to be sitting there thinking that you're going to be there with like a Ouija board and you're contacting Andrew Martin from Beyond the Grave.
No.
So they're like, test.
When I put test on there, that's just my quick way of getting into the program because you gotta give it a title in order to get into this program I use. So if I'm going in just to upload like pictures or videos or things of that nature, I put test, I go in there, I get it done, and then I pop back out. Well, this afternoon when I did that and I popped back out, I didn't delete the test. So when I came on tonight, I didn't even realize I didn't put interview. I just popped right into the show, and that's why it says test up there. And that will be changed, Brandon, and everybody else immediately after the show is over.
I got a new gimmick now.
You're the test.
I got a new gimmick. I am the test. Cole McAbee. That's going to be it now.
You are the test. Now, here's another question I have to follow up the one I just gave you about owning a show. How different is it to be on one side where you're looking for bookings and now you're turning around and with your friends and other wrestlers, now you're hiring them to be on your show? How different is that? Is that a weird feeling?
It's a little bit of a weird feeling. I will admit that because me getting bookings is like one of these things where I'm like constantly like just banging on the door and I'm like, hello, you know. But as far as me doing this show, like I said, I actually had a lot of people to come out of the woodwork. Now, and a lot of them, I will plan on using for future shows, and that's not an issue. It was just what I had going on for this month. I kind of already had it pre-planned in my head, and try to get that mapped out as quickly as possible because I've actually been planning this whole thing for the last 4 months. So this is not something that I've just thrown together or anything like that. Right. I've carefully planned everything as far as like where I wanted it to be, who I wanted to be on the show, who I wanted to be part of the whole thing. So I thought this all through before just kind of randomly thinking, I'm just going to just put on a show and just see what happens. Right. Whatever sticks, and whatever doesn't just falls to the wayside. No, that was not the case.
Right.
But
I mean, with the card that you've already mentioned, I can see you've thought about, who you're putting against each other and what would be the best matches. And already I'm psyched. I'm already telling you, I'd be shocked if we weren't there. You should be shocked if we're not there that night. Okay. Seriously, because that's a good card. And I like everybody that you mentioned, and my family loves all them wrestlers, and I definitely want to be there.
Well, like I said, if you can make it out, I'd love to have you there. And if there was anything that you would like to do, like I know that I've seen you do like the pre-show stuff or like the post-show stuff, which I actually love that because it actually felt more like a press conference type of feel.
See, I love doing that for everybody. I don't charge anything. If you want me to do one for your show, man, all I ask is for a few pictures. If you can hook me up with some pictures and I'll set it up, and I'd be more than happy to do one, man. I love doing that. It gives me something to do, and I get to invest in something I love, indies wrestling. So, yeah, man, hook me up. I'd love to do a preview and a review. So that would be awesome.
I think we can work with something like that. That is not an issue. Because like I said, I would love to see as many people as I can possibly fit inside of that building, which is going to be in the Batesburg Leesville Leisure Center, which is very, very nice facility. It's very large. So, there's definitely room. So I would love to pack it out. I honestly would.
I will help you in any way I can, man. I'll tell you like I tell every other owner and promoter. I'll help you in any way I can. You ever need me, just let me know what you want me to do, and I'll be more than happy. Unless you tell me to kill myself, I'll be more than happy to do basically whatever you ask me to do.
I'm not that mean. I'm not that mean.
Right?
There's people in this business they'll flat out tell you that. No joke. But
Jimmy didn't hear the whole shtick about your time and place for your show, so hit us up with it again. He wants to know what date is the show with Jake and PJ.
Okay, so it's going to be on October the 5th in Batesburg, Leesville, South Carolina. That's over there in Lexington County, middle part of the state. I chose that date for a reason. I don't want to compete against Gamecock football in Gamecock country. That's an off week. So, so guess
awesome.
what?
I'm not a Gamecocks fan. I'm a fan of the other side, but hey, it's all right.
Scott Larson.
I'm a Tiger fan, brother. I wear orange all the time. I'm a Tiger fan. Can't help it.
We're not gonna go down that road. I went to the University of South Carolina, so my allegiance is where it is. So,
well, we can both hate Alabama equally. Can we say that?
Okay, all right. I'll get on board.
There we go.
But I would have loved you more if you would have said Georgia.
Okay, Georgia too. Hey, anybody in the SEC that's not your team or because that just seems to be the only competition for my guys is the SEC. So
yeah,
just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay, but like I was saying, October the 5th, Batesburg, Leesville Leisure Center in Batesburg, Leesville, South Carolina. Main event: Randy Wayne versus Brady Pierce. You got Josh Powers versus Patrick Scott. You got Mr. Nice Guy versus The Future. You've got hold on. Jake Jacobs versus PJ Ellis. Donnie Ray versus Joey Ford, and we are going to have the tag match Soul Patrol versus myself and Big Country. So,
the Cole McAbee and Big Country.
Yes.
Chuck Winchester. Whoa, how are you doing, Mr. I Am Righteous? Welcome to the show, man.
Oh my God, I Am Righteous. I have not seen that dude in forever.
He's a good guy, man. I love talking with him. He's given me a lot of great tips for my show and helped me out a lot. I love him to death, man. I could talk to that man for hours, and I have talked to that man for hours. But, man, wow, we've been on here for an hour and 37 minutes, brother, and it feels like it's only been 10 minutes. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm still having fun. What about you? You good?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing good, but now that I'm looking at that clock, I probably do need to go ahead and try to kill it a little bit.
It's all right, man. Well, thank you, everybody, for showing up, commenting, asking questions. I'm going to put a bullet out for myself real quick. If you have not went on #Truth on YouTube and pounded that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications, please do that. I've got 62 subscribers. My goal was 1,000, but apparently I'm not going to get there, so I'm going to knock it down. I'm hoping to get to 100 by the end of the year. And so far, you guys are knocking it out of the water. I'm at 62 as we speak right now, last time I checked. So if you can, go hit that. And all these interviews that I do, Cole McAbee will be on my Facebook page for 24 hours or so. And then the test will be gone, and the test will jump over to #Truth YouTube page where you can see it for eternity. And I'm having a pretty good race over there for who gets the most views. So there's 2 or 3 wrestlers. As a matter of fact, I Am Righteous is leading the pack right now. Hey, look at you.
Dead last.
No, you won't be dead. I guarantee you will not be dead last. I guarantee it. I already know. Brother, let me tell you something. It's the honest truth because I can see it right here in the corner. I usually average about 5-6 people constantly. People coming in and out. I average about 5-6 people a night. And we have been to the better part of 14 to 20 for about 75% of this interview. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, you're not going to be at the bottom, brother. Nowhere close to it. But yeah, man, anytime you want to come on hashtag Truth, if you want to use me for your previews and reviews, I would love to do that, man. Just hit me up on Facebook here and say, hey, Scott, this is what I want, and I'll make sure it happens, man. I can record it or I can do it live. It's up to you, man. I let everybody, pick their poison when it comes to me, man. If you want me to record it and make it perfect, I can do it that way. Or if you want me to do it live and get all the fans involved, which is the way I like to do it, we'll do it that way too, man. But I'm at your disposal, and anybody else out there, Buck and all the rest who are in here. Yep. So yeah, man, I'd love to do that. Thank you for coming on, man. I'm going to cut this off because, yeah, we've got things to do. We got families we got to take care of too, and absolutely. And I had a blast, man. Please come back on hashtag Truth after that first show and let me know about how it went, man. Oh yeah, we'll do. But like I said, if you got the opportunity to come to the show, you are invited as a guest. I'm definitely more than likely with my daughter. I will be the worst dad ever if I don't show up for that show. She already knows that JJ's going to be there, Jake Jacobs. She's already standing off camera right now with her arms crossed going, we better show up. So more than likely we're going to be there. There's a Jake Jacobs experience and we're going to be there. But just real quick, everybody that has actually came on here to listen to me talk to Scott, thank you. I appreciate it. Once again, Pro Wrestling Union on the Facebook page. You'll find all the other information there. If you're interested in what I do just as a wrestler myself, you just type in Cole McAbee. You'll find my personal page, me with the beautiful woman that is way too hot for me anyway. And then you'll see the one where I look like I'm just like, if you see this, that's the wrestling page. We're going to have to get you into some self-motivation training, brother. Oh, no. Nah, because if you talk to anybody else that's ever met me backstage, they probably tell you, he's like, oh man, he's the most egotistical person in the world. I can't stand him. I gotta put on the front. On that note, I am going to say goodnight to you, man. It has been a blast, and like I said, I'm going to check out, I've still got the page up, Pro Wrestling Union. I'm going to go to it. I'm going to find all the posters and stuff that I can, and I'm going to put them over on hashtag Truth, brother. And my daughter's going to hate me as a father if I don't get out there to that show. So I'm probably going to end up being there. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing because I love all the wrestlers you mentioned. Most of them I do know. So I know that's going to be a really great time. Wow. Brandon says I should have 500 people by the end of the year. That's going pretty high, but Brandon, I hope so, man. I hope so. If you guys can share this and get it out, Cole McAbee was a great interview. Share it as many times as you can before the 24 hours is up. Get us out there. Get Cole out there with his Pro Wrestling Union. Let's pack the house up there for him. I would love to see. I'd love to walk in that night and see that house packed. Because the wrestlers he's going to have there are worth whatever you're charging, and I'm not going to ask you that. They'll see it on the poster. $10. Okay, $10. That's, oh my gosh, that's worth the JJ and Kodiak fight alone, man. I mean, but yeah, man, you have a great night. Everybody have a great night. Tomorrow I will have Mr. Blood on, Brandon Blood. Come out and check that out, man. And I will have all the rest of the wrestlers and all my schedule up on hashtag Truth. You know where to find it. Thank you very much, and y'all have a good night.
Night, everyone.
And we are out.